freeze? Oh, I thought it was frozen. Oh, this is awkward now. Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Naomi, and I'm doing my call to action speech. So a couple weeks ago, I was driving down I-25 by Loveland, and it's where they have all the construction going on right now, and it's been going on for like 2 years. So I was really curious, like, what the construction exactly was, just because it's having such a big impact on like that area. So I decided to research it, and it turns out that that construction is due to the population increase in northern Colorado. So when I heard we had to do a call to action speech, I decided to do mine on the current air pollution and traffic issues in Colorado, just because the population has grown so much. So I have a few statistics, and the first one is according to the most recent US Census, Colorado's current population is 5.77 million people, and according to CDOT, traffic accidents have gone up 29% since 2014. So from 2014 to 2019, traffic accidents have gone up basically 30%. So what I'm trying to do is talk about the negatives of air pollution and traffic, and what we as a community and as Coloradoans can do to fix that issue. And part of my solution is public transportation, making more use out of that, carpooling, and even electric cars. We have different models and newer models of those coming about as well. So to start off, I want to talk about air pollution and traffic. So air pollution, mainly from cars, is carbon monoxide, sulfur dioxide, and PM 2.5. And PM 2.5, according to the Union of Concerned Scientists, is respirable particulate matter, and it's basically molecules that are like a millionth of a diameter long, so they can like get down into your lungs if you breathe them in. And they are responsible for 95% of the global public health impacts from air pollution, and a big source of PM 2.5 is fuel combustion. So basically every car that is driven produces PM 2.5. And because of this, it causes severe acute and chronic effects on human health. According to Elsevier, which is a textbook in the environmental pollution section, it can cause upper respiratory irritation, chronic respiratory and heart disease, along with lung cancer, chronic bronchitis and asthma attacks, and it reduces the life expectancy of people as well. And it can cause a really low or a really high mortality rate in children because they don't have the ability to like combat all the pollutants that they're like breathing in. The second one is traffic. So according to the International Road Traffic Organization, 37,000 people die in road crashes a year, and northern Colorado is in the top 10 in the country in terms of growth. So northern Colorado, so that includes like Greeley, Loveland, Fort Collins, and Windsor, and all the eastern cities or towns as well. We're growing so exponentially that our highways and our roads basically don't have room for everyone that wants to drive. And according to the Colorado Sun, which is a news article online, 58,000 cars were driven each day in 2001, and that is up to 84,000 cars each day in 2018. So in 2018, 84,000 cars are driven on I-25 every day. And they did a study that showed the amount of people that basically work in different areas that they live in. So 30% of the people that work in Greeley work elsewhere. So they either work in like Denver or Cheyenne, Wyoming, or places like that. 20% of people that live in Fort Collins also work in a different area, and 55% of people in Loveland drive to work somewhere else. So we have a lot of people that are driving other places to work, which is causing a lot of traffic and a lot of traffic accidents and deaths in Colorado. So as far as what we can do about it, two of the biggest solutions I have are electric cars and public transportation. According to Aragon Energy, which is a huge supporter and creator of electric cars is one of the best solutions, just because they're a lower running cost. They cost about a third of the price as normal cars do to run, just because you don't have to use gas. It's electricity, so you just plug in the car and they don't have as many moving pieces. So like normal cars have exhaust, starter motors, fuel injection systems, and that is what's causing the pollution, and electric cars don't have that. So on top of saving, you're also not emitting any sort of pollutants whatsoever. It's zero exhaust emissions. And according to the Colorado Sun, public transportation is also up. So Bustang is a big proponent in Fort Collins, and they go from Fort Collins to Denver, and every month 17,000 people have used Bustang, and that's either to just carpool down to work, or a lot of people go down to Denver to get to the airport, so people will take Bustang as well. And what's really cool is that they're now trying to offer like Wi-Fi on public transportation, because if you're on there for an hour, you can get work done and or watch Netflix. So they're trying to create more incentives for people to use public transportation. So some people may think that we're not doing enough, and that these projects, like the one I talked about on I-25, isn't being built fast enough. But the issue is CDOT is not getting enough money to support all the projects they want. So they are getting the money that they get comes from state and federal taxes, and that money hasn't increased since 1991. So they're getting the same amount of money for more expensive projects that they would get in 1991. So that's basically like trying to say you get the salary that you would get in 1991 but paying for rent in 2019. So 6% goes to expansion, and only 2.5% of that money goes to emergencies. So CDOT basically has no money that they can use to get projects up and running to expand highways, including the one on I-25, which is what they're trying to do because northern Colorado is growing so much. So if things don't change, obviously they're just going to get worse. So health risks increase, mortality rates increase, child death increases, and air pollution and quality will obviously get worse as well. As far as what you guys can do, I wanted to offer you guys some links to websites. So on my PowerPoint, under what you guys can do, I have a link to the Bustang schedule, the RTD schedule, and Fort Collins also has Transfort, which is the public bus system. So I have a schedule for that. And then I also have a list of apps that you can download. So like Uber, Lyft, and there's also a couple of carpooling ones that you can use for work and stuff, where I think you meet on a highway, or you pick a location that you can meet. And yeah, so it's just a good step that we can all take to become more aware of what we can do to help cut air pollution and traffic in Colorado. So overall, again, my issue that I talked about was air pollution and traffic, just because of the increase in population in Colorado. And a step that we can all take is looking into electric cars, just because they're becoming more popular, and also carpooling, and even biking, especially in the Fort Collins area. There's a lot of bike lanes and stuff like that. So we can all take that step to help decrease the air pollution and the traffic in Colorado. So yeah, does anyone have any questions? Any at all? Yes.
Do you know if the Bustang and Transfort and all those public transport are affordable, or do you know the prices on those?
That's a really good question. I know that Transfort is for sure, especially for CSU students. I think that's the one that they get to use for free with their student ID. Mm-hmm. But as far as when you get on, I think it's $1.25 or something for just a normal passenger. So that's super affordable. As far as Bustang, I didn't look into the pricing, and I know it's probably the ticket's probably a little more expensive just because you're going from Fort Collins potentially all the way to Denver. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm not quite sure on that. That's a good question. Anyone else? Nothing? Cool. Thank you, everyone. Oh yeah.